Accounting software buyer discovery is moving into AI-generated shortlists, and that changes where the competitive battle happens. When a buyer asks ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Copilot, Google AI Mode, or AI overviews for the best options, they often receive a ranked recommendation before they ever visit a vendor website. The benchmark shows a clear pattern. Visibility alone is no longer enough to win the decision moment. Hey, I'm Mark Huntley, founder and CEO of Siteworks Studio. At Siteworks Studio, we study how brands show up across Google, AI answers, and the public sources buyers trust before making decisions, and how that visibility turns into credible citations, comparisons, and recommendations. The report studied accounting software across 10 brands, including Xero, QuickBooks, FreshBooks, Zoho Books, Wave, Sage, NetSuite, Bench, 𝐂𝐤𝐬𝐭𝐬, and Patriot Software. It analyzed 1,403 observations across discovery, comparison and alternatives, and pricing and plans prompts. This matters because AI systems are synthesizing public sources into buyer-facing answers. They are comparing providers, explaining reputation, summarizing pricing, and forming shortlists. In a category where buyers weigh features, integrations, pricing tiers, and trust signals, that shortlist can become the first serious filter in the buying journey. The benchmark is a June 2026 point-in-time snapshot, so it should be treated as a directional read on AI recommendation influence, not a permanent market ranking. The strongest finding is concentration. Xero leads the accounting software benchmark with 44.1% valid recommendation coverage across all prompts. It appears in 74% of observations, earns a 38.1% top 3 rate, and holds an 18.9% rank 1 rate. When Xero earns recommendation credit, its average rank is 2.0, placing it near the top of the shortlist. FreshBooks and Zoho Books form the challenger tier. FreshBooks reaches 29.2% valid recommendation coverage, a 20.3% top 3 rate, and the highest net sentiment score in the category at 0.78. Zoho Books follows closely with 27.9% valid recommendation coverage, the second highest mention presence at 48.3%, and a net sentiment score of 0.75. The business takeaway is that Xero, FreshBooks, and Zoho Books capture the majority of modeled recommendation value across discovery, comparison, and pricing prompts. The most important executive distinction in the analysis is the gap between mentions and valid recommendations. A mention means a brand appeared in an AI-generated response. A valid recommendation means the brand earned shortlist quality or ranked recommendation credit. QuickBooks shows the most commercially interesting gap. It appears in 32.6% of observations, but earns valid recommendations in only 12.8%. When it is recommended, its average rank is 1.55, the strongest in the category. That means QuickBooks can rank extremely well when it makes the shortlist, but it does not earn shortlist credit as often as its brand recognition might suggest. Sage and NetSuite show a different challenge. Sage appears in 27.7% of observations, but earns only 6.7% valid recommendation coverage. NetSuite appears in 8.8% of observations, but earns recommendation credit in just 2.1%. Both are recognized by AI systems, but their appearances are more often neutral or factual than endorsement quality. The benchmark points to the public evidence layer as the strategic driver. AI platforms build answers by synthesizing review platforms, editorial comparisons, official documentation, community discussions, directories, owned content, and other public sources. The leaders in this accounting software benchmark appear to have source footprints that are broad and recommendation ready. Xero, FreshBooks, and Zoho Books show up consistently across the kinds of sources that help AI systems build ranked answers, especially in comparison and pricing contexts. QuickBooks has broad recognition and a large search footprint, but the analysis suggests much of its presence may be functioning as neutral category reference material rather than shortlist forward evidence. Sage and NetSuite may face a different alignment issue. Their public evidence may be stronger for enterprise or traditional search contexts than for the small to mid-sized buyer prompts tested here. The lesson for leadership teams is direct. Citation frequency is not endorsement. The quality, framing, and context of third-party evidence matter. For operators, there are several practical fixes to prioritize. First, measure recommendation stage visibility separately from raw AI mentions. If the dashboard only tracks whether the brand appeared, it misses the commercial signal. Second, monitor top 3 and rank 1 placement in high-intent buyer prompts. 4th place, 5th place, and factual mentions carry a different level of buyer influence than top-ranked shortlist positions. Third, strengthen the comparison and pricing evidence layer. Those are the prompts where decision stage buyers concentrate. Brands with weak recommendation-forward content in those contexts are more likely to leak demand. And fourth, clean up entity consistency. If public sources describe a brand inconsistently by name, category, audience, or use case, AI systems have a harder time retrieving and synthesizing the brand accurately. The leadership takeaway is that accounting software brands need to compete for recommendation stage visibility, not only search visibility or AI mention presence. This benchmark shows that AI-led discovery can compress a broad market into a small shortlist. 0 leads. FreshBooks and Zoho Books hold durable challenger positions. QuickBooks has strong rank when recommended, but a meaningful visibility to recommendation gap. Sage and NetSuite are present in AI answers, but under-recommended in the tested prompts. For growth leaders, the next move is prompt-level monitoring, citation architecture, and third-party evidence that supports shortlist quality framing. In accounting software, the buyer shortlist is increasingly shaped before the buyer reaches your site.